Yes. This is Tactical Red, and you're on Tactical United, and this is a video based on Ollie's who should replace Ollie when once he gets sacked, because obviously it's been clear for me from March 2019, but it's getting clear to everyone else that he's going to get sacked, and people want to pretend. People want to pretend that it's people say, oh yeah, because the board haven't backed him, he's going to get sacked. That's what people want to say. That's the main fans that want to say that when they don't want to accept that it's because he's rubbish. They say, oh, the board will get him sacked. Not. The board can't get someone sacked. If he was winning the league, or if he was playing with a better style of football, if we didn't lose to who did we lose to? Crystal Palace and Tottenham, and play rubbish against Brighton, people wouldn't be saying this. If we didn't lose against Sevilla in the semi-finals because of lack of changes, people wouldn't be saying this. If he realised from the beginning that Pereira, Phil Jones, Dan James, Brandon Williams, our centre backs, if he realised that these guys weren't good enough from the beginning, as we knew, he wouldn't be in this position. It's like, he backed Lingard so many times. Rashford has only scored 10 goals without penalties last season, which is his average for his whole Man United career, Even though he was injured, obviously, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he was injured for about 8 games. This is I'm calm now. Normally I'm angry. Normally I'm like, when you do a video, I'm angry and I'm like stressing out because we just lost the game. But that's what I'm saying, man. You don't play when Man United don't stress you out. Yeah, you actually you don't. The stress levels don't go up, but this team and the manager stresses me out. I'm not gonna lie, but it's been nice not having to watch us fail for the weekend, because it's just becoming a regular theme. And even when we do win, I'm not really that happy. Because I watched the way we play. Like, it's only been like the few games after lockdown that I was actually really excited. But that petered out because it wasn't based on anything. Just like the first time under Ollie, when he came in, we had a good boost, and that phased out because it wasn't based on anything. If you don't have a foundation, then you can't really build. But we don't have a foundation. The foundation is the coaching, the training that you do daily. This is the foundation of success, and Ollie doesn't have that. But what I want to say is, I'm looking at like the replacements for Ollie. To be honest with you, like there's a lot of replacements. I mean, not a lot, but there's a few that you come in and 100% improve us. There's no doubt about it. And people say about if Ollie did come in, if another manager did come in, the highest seed he can finish is third. Now, that I don't think that's 100% true, to be honest with you. Reason being is we still have young players that can get a lot better. So, when people say the highest we can finish third, I disagree. I think Martial has a level to go up. Rashford has a level to go up, but he needs to go up 2 levels for me. He needs to go up 2 levels, but he can. I don't think he. I think he might, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But he needs to go up 2 levels. Greenwood can go up like 3 levels from what he is. Pogba can play better. Bruno can maybe play better or not. Like, I'm not sure with Bruno. He's been exposed at the moment with the poor performances, and this is the reason why we didn't want to buy him in the first place. This is the reason why Ollie said he gives the ball away too much. He's careless on the ball, and he is. There's no doubt about it. He is careless on the ball. He's not actual quality on the ball. It's Van der Beek looks better on him, better than him on the ball. He does. There's no doubt about it. And I think, I really think. Not sabotage is happening in a way where Ollie doesn't want to play Van der Beek because he will look so much better than Bruno. Because I just think Ollie doesn't want to make a hard decision. I think Ollie doesn't want to make a tough decision. I think Ollie doesn't want to put his neck on the line and drop Pogba or Bruno for Van der Beek. He's scared. He's scared. He's basically scared to do it. He's basically scared, and he's scared of the reaction he'll get in the dressing room. He's scared because I think Bruno and Pogba are our two biggest players. Like, you know, when it comes to stature and, you know, stature in the game and respect in the game, I think a lot of people respect Pogba and a lot of people respect Bruno for what he's done in Portugal and what he's come over at Man United and done with the instant impact that he's had. A lot of people respect that and they know that, and therefore they're like the two biggest players in our team, and you're going to drop one of them for Van der Beek. I don't know if he's ready to do that. I don't know if he's strong enough to do that. You know, I don't think he is. Like, you know, I just don't. So, you know, it's interesting to see, you know, but yeah, these players can get better under a new manager. I think with the defence, I think it's really a simple equation with the defence when it comes to getting better. The reason why Maguire isn't good because he drops deep. He drops deep when we're even high pressing. He doesn't press high because he has no pace, so he has to always drop deep. Now this is what happens when you haven't got a two quick centre backs. So if someone drops deep, then initially there's a gap, and it makes you make the pitch bigger, because when you push up and you have possession up to the halfway line, basically playing in their half, and but we're dropping back, so therefore we're not close to the midfield. It's not easy for the midfield to get close to the strikers. The defenders don't push high, and then therefore the midfielders don't push high. So our balance is off. Our balance is off because of Maguire's lack of pace, and on top of that, he's making a lot of mistakes. On top of that, he's not very, you know, I like centre backs to get close to a man. Like, obviously, when you got someone like Messi, or, you know, there's certain things you don't do, you know. Well, against most players, you can like really get close to them. They might knock it off, but you got pace, recovery, speed to come back and cover your position, where Maguire can't do that. And you defend in a different way. That's why I'd personally play Luke Shaw instead of Maguire. And I know that it would be a risk. It would definitely be a risk. There's no doubt about it. But if it pays off, then it's worth it, because right now Maguire can't do that position. He's just making our team worse, and Ollie can't see it because he's not got tactical. He just thinks Maguire's big and tall, and you know, he can pass okay, and he looks commanding on the ball, but he's actually not. All them extra touches. The reason why he touches the ball so many times is because he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's taking long to decide what to do with it. That also comes with a lack of confidence. Anyone who's been a footballer knows that sometimes when you lack a bit of confidence, you don't do things straight away because, you know, the confidence isn't there. But he's been doing that from the beginning, really, when you think about it. So, you know, Tellez is a lovely left back. I think Tellez might be our best player this season, because I think what he will provide is something that we've never had since. I mean, even Evra wasn't the best crosser of the ball at left back. He was very good, Evra, but at crossing, no. At running in, coming in, yeah, he was good, definitely. Like, he would cut, you know, he was good at running. His movement was very good in the final third, but his actual ability on the ball is nowhere near to what Tellez is. And Tellez does what he does too, not as much, but because he prefers to whip it. But I think having someone that does whip it does give us an option that we just don't have. So I think it will provide a lot of a different what do you call it? It's like a different angle for us, a different system, a different way of attacking. That's what he will provide. So, you know, but, you know, for me, like, managers can come in. I think number one would be on my list is Nagelsmann from RB Leipzig, and when we play RB Leipzig in the Champions League, we're going to see how much, like, their football is just on the next level. Like, the way they defend and the way they press in like a diamond. Like, so the striker presses, the two wide players press in like a diamond, so the striker's at the top of the diamond, and then the two wide players press and then one of the midfielders press. So they press in a 4, but it's a diamond. So everywhere they go across the pitch, they keep into their diamond press. And it's very hard to break down. Very hard to get out of that press. When he does it, and that's one of his secrets to his success. And the way he's got his the way he plays his defenders, and he plays a 3 at the back. This is the only thing I'm thinking. Like, he does try 4-4-2 sometimes, but he mainly plays a 3 at the back. And obviously, I don't know. Like, he could do it, but I'm not sure. So if he did come in, would he change the way we play? Would he change the way we set up our formation? Yeah, he probably would. Because ultimately that's what he knows, and that's what he's been successful at. So he shouldn't actually change the way he wants to play. I think he should just get the best out of the players, So I think he's definitely, and obviously his record is for Hoffenheim and Leipzig was impeccable. And he's 33. He's very young, but he's definitely gets the best out of his players, and all of his players, the way they speak about him is really good. Because if you hear like how people speak about Ollie, they never talk about what he does on the training pitch. They never talk about, they talk about what he tells them, and what he normally tells them is, express yourself, do what you're good at, you need to improve on your heading. Like, it's not like coaching. He's not actually coaching them in a way, like, he's not watching them and telling them little things that they need to improve on, because they're not improving. It's clear, like, the evidence is in the way we play. But Nagelsmann, all the players that talk about him, Gnabry and other players as well, a lot of other players, they say about how he improves them, and that's what you want. Plus a guy who knows tactics and the system, and the guy doesn't even have that great players at Leipzig. Like, Leipzig players, none of them are good. Like, Werner was their best player by far, and he doesn't even look that good. You know what I mean? Like, their best player doesn't even look that great. To me, he's not that great. So what does it say? It's all about manager. And I would definitely take him. Next one I would take as well, number 2 on my list. It's not Poch, because Poch is very good, but it's not Poch. It's the Ajax manager. Like, I think the Ajax manager is a very good manager. He's a very, very, very good manager. I don't know if we could take him in the middle of the season. It's the only thing. But he's a very good manager. There's no doubt about it. He's the best. He's one of the best managers there is in the world. Because what he did with Ajax and what he's done since he's come to Ajax, PSV were the best team. And I know they've lost 3 of their players and not doing so well now. But PSV are the best team. Have been the best team. He came with his youth players, with a style of football, with the way he plays, coaching. You can see that he's a really good coach, and he plays a certain brand of football. And he should have got to the final of the Champions League, and he lost. I don't know how he lost. I mean, look at players like Frankie de Jong. They don't look as good with him. This is what I mean about certain managers and certain way they train. Like, you have to see when their players leave what they do after that. Because sometimes the system makes players look better than what they are, and sometimes the system makes players look worse than what they are. So it goes hand in hand. And but de Jong doesn't look as good, But Ten Hag for Ajax is a top manager, and if we got him, I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy. I want Nagelsmann, but I'll be very, very, very satisfied with him. And that's how. This is what I hope. Like, I hope whoever's in charge, whoever's making these decisions, Ed Woodward, is actually doing things like this. Doing things like, analysing managers and seeing who's the best and what is the best way forward. Like, is he? He's not, because he doesn't care about football that much. Like, you have to know, like, when you're involved in something that you don't really care about as much, you care for it just because of money. Like, everyone knows that when you're doing something, and if you're only in it for the money, it's not pushing you. You won't get pushed. You'll just do the bare minimum requirements because you don't really care. And I see that in Woodward. I see that he doesn't really care, and that's why we need a sporting director. But I personally think Ollie's blocking it, not even Woodward. I personally think Ollie blocks it. That's my opinion. I know it's just a pure opinion, but sometimes, reason why I say this is because he says that Man United has always been run by the manager. So maybe he made that point to Woodward in the meeting when he first came. He thought, this is how Man United have been successful. And being Woodward, knowing nothing about nothing, you're like, oh yeah, you're right. But I think Woodward knows he's been taken for a muppet. I personally think Woodward knows, like, Ollie's taking him for a muppet now. But with Woodward, he's so late. He's so late. He just doesn't know football, and this is the problem. Because he doesn't know football, he just doesn't know what he's doing. And people say, yeah, that's the board. They are the problem. But the problem is, it's because he doesn't know football. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know football. He doesn't know football. So, 1 second. He doesn't know football. So, at the end of the day, that's what it is, isn't it? So. But yeah, nice. I think he's number 2. Marco Rose and Mönchengladbach, definitely number 3. Definitely a potential top manager. With Bruce and Mönchengladbach, I talked about him before, actually, to be honest with you. And I like him. I like him a lot. He's not doing loads, but he got 1 point behind RB Leipzig with Borussia Mönchengladbach. 1 point behind them. That's not bad for his first season. And they haven't got Champions League, and he got them into the Champions League. Like, this is the stuff that you need to see how managers operate. And yeah, they could probably say, yeah, they should have before anyway, but I don't know. There's other good teams in, Leverkusen, they're a good team. They had Havertz, they had what's his name? Bailey, the winger, and they have Diaby, another winger, and decent strikers. One of them they sold already. Decent midfield. Tar at the back. Bentner. They got decent players. It's decent players. It's a good team. It's a decent team, and they came ahead of them. And Borussia Mönchengladbach's team have no one. They have no one. Their best player is probably their keeper, and he still managed to get them 4th, playing a certain brand of football. So again, and then my 4th choice would be Poch. I like Poch. Poch is a good manager. I would be happy for him to come in. I'm not going to say like he's my number 1 or number 2 choice, because he wouldn't be. Because the only reason that he wouldn't be is because I think he has similar qualities to Ollie. Just similar, not the same. Similar in a sense where he doesn't make big decisions. He's not. I don't think he's like a real leader. I don't think he's a real leader. I think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's a great manager. I think he's an amazing coach, and he can get on with the players. But I think as a manager, he's good. He's very good, obviously, getting to the final and stuff. But I don't think he's great. I don't think he has greatness. I think he's just very, very good. And I don't know if that's good enough for us. I think you can see Klopp is a great manager. You can see Pep and Mourinho was at one point, and Ancelotti. Like, you know that these are great managers, and I think Poch will still make us better. I think Poch will still potentially potentially get us to like 2nd. Like, honestly, like, I'm not even joking. I think Poch can get 2nd. People talk about like first, like it's wrapped up, and 2nd, like City are doing loads out here. City aren't doing loads. Like, City are not doing loads. City aren't doing loads. I know they'll be there at the top end of the table at the end of the season. I know that. I'm not stupid. But they're not doing loads. Like, I'm not worried about City. I'm not. Like, I don't rate their strikers. I don't rate... Sterling is their best player. Then De Bruyne. And that's it. Like, take any of them 2 out of the team. Like, they're not performing well. They're not getting the job done. Like, for me, they're not. And again, all these signings that Pep's made, none of them are really paying off, because he's still relying on players that was here before he came. Do you know what I mean? Fernandinho, like, his best signing has probably been Laporte. I think that Diaz is decent too, but I think Diaz is very decent. But I think it's Laporte and Diaz seem like it could be a strong centre back pairing. Aguero's always injured. Jesus, not for me. You know, Foden is good, but he's young. Bernardo Silva seems to be in and out. Mahrez seems to be dying out. You know, their team isn't. I'm not afraid of their team. When they got rid of Sane, like they didn't know what they had when they had Sane. They just didn't. They didn't appreciate what they had when they had Sane, because when you had Sterling and Sane, then you was like, oh man, this is not going to be easy, because them two are both like two quality players, and then you had Aguero, who was a bit younger up front, but Aguero's getting old and he's always injured, and Sane's gone. So, you know, and they bought Torres, but he hasn't done nothing yet. I think he's very good though. I think he's a very good player. Torres is a very good player, but he's done nothing. So yeah, man, I'm not even afraid. I think we can go for second. I think if we get a new manager in, we could get second. But you know, I don't think, you know, our board doesn't operate like that. And the funny thing is, like, you know, like Salford City, the club that's owned by Gary Neville, Scholes, Giggs, Nicky Butt, Phil Neville, they sacked their manager, who was, you know, still in the playoff position. They still sacked them. Like, this is what do you know what I'm saying? This is like, I would say that class of '92 is brought up on ruthlessness. Like, that class of '92 is brought up on being completely ruthless. That's how they're brought up. Like, and that's how Man United fans, or my age generation anyway, like, because there's a lot of young United fans that haven't seen the '90s. They haven't seen the football in the '90s. They didn't understand what Fergie was in the millennium. They didn't understand that. They didn't know, because their brain doesn't see it. Like, but they know now, obviously. But when you've lived it and seen it, like, live and kicking, and you understand, yeah, this is the levels. Like, Fergie was ruthless. Fergie, do you think Fergie would have had, like, Fergie, like, he got soft in his old age. Like, when he last 3-4 years, he did get a bit soft. Well, that's always gonna happen. It's natural. You're always gonna get softer when you get to that age. But, you know, he chopped players in their pomp. He chopped Van Nistelrooy when he banged top goal scorer. He chopped him. He chopped Beckham. Chopped him. Chopped Keane. Chopped Mark Hughes. Chopped Paul Ince. Chopped these guys. Kanchelskis. Chopped. Just like players, he wouldn't mess around with players like Jemba, Belleon, Clemberson. He's getting rid of them. Like, after a season or two, he's like, they're gone. Like, he's not messing around. He was never messing around with these guys. Like, they're gone. Like, if you're not good enough, you're gone, innit? Like, and there's no doubt. Like, even Zaha, I thought, nah, too injury prone. I can't trust him. Gone. Like get someone else in. Do you know what I mean? Got Larson in. And this is what ruthless managers do. Chop Tevez, chop Berbatov, chop these guys. Like, these guys were fan favourites, and chopped Tevez. Like this is what I'm saying. But then United fans want to go on, like, you know, want to go on like we're being harsh on Rashford. We're being harsh on Maguire. Like, you know, Fergie wouldn't waste time with these guys. Like, Fergie wouldn't be wasting time. Honestly, he wouldn't. He wouldn't be wasting time at all. He just wouldn't. He just wouldn't. So for me, it's all about chopping and being ruthless. And as a Man United fan base, Solskjaer's not good enough. We need to be ruthless. We need to get in a proper manager. For the game against Newcastle, like, he has to be playing Greenwood up front, with Mata on the right and Rashford on the left. If I don't see that formation, if we see Rashford, because a lot of people they think Rashford is gonna be a striker. Like, Rashford can't be a striker. Why don't we give the guy who's a striker, Greenwood, his chance in a striking position in the big game? Why are we not doing that? Someone tell me why we haven't done that. It's baffling to me. It's baffling. And, you know, he's been a striker. He's not been given the chance to be a striker. And he's a lethal finisher. He's had the most shots this season for Man United. And Martial's been in there around the box. He's not shooting. Like, for me, I'm not saying Martial is rubbish, because he's really not. He's really not. He's not rubbish. But is he a striker? Is he really? Is he? Because he can finish. He can hold up the ball. He's strong. He has it. He has all the capabilities of being a striker. But the only thing I don't think he has, and the only thing I don't like about what he is that when I see strikers, even when they're playing bad, they're trying to score. You know, like when they're not playing good, they're still trying to get a goal. But with Martial, when he's not playing good, he's not scoring. And that for me is the difference between like the Agueros and the Martials. Because Aguero could be having a stinker, right? But he when he gets in front of that goal, he's scoring. Sorry. Yeah. When he gets in front of that goal, he's scoring. Even if he's playing bad. With Martial, it's not like that. And that's why these ex-players are saying that. They can't really explain themselves, because they don't have the they just can't explain themselves what they're thinking in their head, because these guys they know football, but they can't explain football. It's two things. Like, you're able to do something, but you can't explain something. It's not the same thing. But they've seen strikers, so they know what strikers are. And I know you could say, well, that's like the old school, but no, it's not. Like, you have Van Nistelrooy, Andy Cole, you know, Van Persie, these types of players. They're strikers because they operate like strikers. They operate in how a striker operates. But Martial, he does, but he's more of a Firmino than a striker. You know, he's more of that Firmino centre forward. He's not like, if it was FIFA, yeah, he'd be for me, his position is CF, not ST. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a CF. He's a centre forward, not a striker. Like, if you know what I'm trying to say. So I know what they mean when he's not a striker. Like, you know, he's not that type of striker. He's just a Firmino type of striker. And if you look at Firmino, when he doesn't play well, he doesn't score. He doesn't look good, like, you know. And that's the same with Martial, because they're not like these types of strikers that, you know, you don't have to be some natural like fox in the box type of striker, but there's all like Cavani, like, you see the movement. When Cavani plays, he's rubbish, but you'll see the difference in like how he moves and how he thinks as a striker compared to Martial. Like, Martial thinks a bit better than Rashford, but Martial is not thinking anything anywhere near Cavani. Like, he's not. He's just not. So I get what they're saying. Why they say he's not a striker. I get why Haaland. But for me, Harry Kane is the same. When they talk about Harry Kane, for me, Harry Kane is the same. Like, he's a bit better in the box than Martial, but he's always outside the box because he's lost pace and the game's changed, and because he's got no pace, he has to drop deep. For me, Harry Kane wouldn't improve us. I wouldn't get Harry Kane. Like, he's a very good striker and he's a better finisher than Martial. He's no doubt a better finisher than Martial. There's no doubt that he's better than Martial at finishing. But I still don't think we would need him. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we have to play Greenwood, Mata, and Rashford. You know, we have to drop Pogba. Do we have to just drop him? I don't care. Drop him. Van der Beek, Bruno, and Fred. Fred needs to play to the Matic. The best game that we've played for me in lockdown is the game that we lost. That's the best game we played. And Fred was in the midfield with Bruno and Pogba. So for me, Matic is very good and he does a job, but for me, he doesn't do the job that we need. And we need a job of Fred. And then what you can have is you can have all quick players. You can have you know, all quick type of players, and you can like, you know, you can press high, have players pushing on, attacking. You know, not this holding back, not this slow play, not this slow moving. We can have defenders pressing, CDMs pressing, fullbacks pressing high. Instead of all this nicey, play deep, so much space. Nah, I'm not interested in that. But you know, as a manager, Ollie should be clocking that, but he doesn't. And this is what I'm saying. So I know it's a long video, but for me, we need to improve in the way we are. All this, it's the board. I've never bought it. I've never bought into it, and I'm not saying the board aren't a problem, because they definitely are a massive problem. But I'm not buying into it's the board when it's on the pitch. Like, I know I know the two correlate. Don't get me wrong, but what we have is better than what we're seeing. So if it was a situation where we can't win the league, I'm like, yeah, that's the board. But we're not even doing that. We're not even getting close to that right now. Like, it's not like we just haven't got the players to do it. It's just, obviously we don't, but even if Ollie did have the players, like, I don't see him doing anything. If we bought a defender, if we bought a CDM, yeah, we'll be better. But I don't even think he sees these as issues. This is the whole issue. Like, what we think is an issue, Ollie doesn't. And that's another issue in itself. Like, he thinks that we didn't need a centre-back. That's, like, we didn't try to buy a centre-back. We tried to buy a right wing. We tried to buy, a striker. We tried to buy a centre midfielder. Tried to buy a left back. We didn't try to buy a centre-back, because he doesn't believe we need one. He believes Maguire is good enough. He believes Lindelof is good enough. He does. He does. He believes that. This is his belief system. But, I mean, what was important for me? For me, important was to fill the squad, and even if we didn't get Sancho, like that, buying that young winger, buying these two young wingers, we could have bought a centre back with that, with the money, with more money too. With that money too, we could have bought a centre back. But the whole focus on Sancho was a play by the board to make Man United fans, when we don't buy anyone and then we buy a couple of people at the end. So instead of buying like players before, so then we still say, oh, we need a centre back, it will prevent the board from spending money. It's a very clever tactic the board do. They really know, they know how to like make us as fans focus on Jadon Sancho for the whole summer, not get him, and then don't have to just strengthen a few places instead of more places that we need. It's just tactics. They do all these tactics. Like, it's just basically playing with the fans. They're playing with us. Like, they're playing with you with that Jadon Sancho nonsense. Solskjaer's also going along with it. Solskjaer's also there playing with you too. Like, oh yeah, we're trying to make deals. Oh yeah, we're doing this. Like, he's also playing your fans too. He's also doing that. So, you fans think that, oh yeah, Ollie is innocent of this, like, propaganda that we have. But Ollie's playing up to the propaganda. He's playing up with it. So these Ollie in fans, I'm sorry, like, I respect all Man United fans, don't get me wrong. And, I want us to win. I want us to win everything. For me, I want to win all the trophies. Like, I want to win Premier League. I want to win Champions League. I only want to win them two, to be honest. I mean, obviously FA Cup is nice, but it's only nice with a Prem. You know what I mean? Or if, let's say we, 1 year we didn't win the Prem and then we won FA Cup. That's nice. It's still a trophy. It's still nice. You still got a trophy in the bag. Do you know what I'm saying? But, we're not getting close to that. And I'm not going to be happy until we're getting close to that. Because ultimately, I can't watch teams keep lifting the trophy and we're not. It's going to be 8 years now. Maybe it's potentially going to be 9. Most likely, it's going to be 9. Most likely. So it's going to be 10 years. And I remember people was gassing like, oh, you're going to go 10 years. And I didn't believe it. But you know what? I believe it. I actually believe it. I believe that we're going to go 10 years without a trophy. And it's embarrassing. Without a Premier League trophy, 10 years. I thought, like, I used to take the mick out of Arsenal for going, like, when it was, like, 8 years without a trophy. I used to take the mick out of Arsenal. Now, like, this is what Man United have become. And people are wanting to back Ollie. People want to back Ollie when he's the guy making us go longer without a trophy. People want to back that. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind someone who is not going to win us a trophy. I'm not going to get behind someone who's not going to win us the Premier League. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I just see it as a waste of time. It's like getting with someone, and you actually want to be with someone else. It's like, why are you wasting time? Why are you wasting time getting with someone when you don't want to be with that person? You want to be with someone else. You're just wasting time, and that's what I see. What's happening at Man United? We're just wasting time with Ollie. It was a waste of time. Like what did we do from it? Nothing. No trophies. It made no mark in our history. He's gonna make zero mark in our Manchester United history, except for a lot of poor records, like finishing with the same points 2 seasons in a row with 66 points twice in a row, and people think that we've improved we haven't improved with 2 wins. 2 seasons with the same amount of points. That's not an improvement. Once again, that's not an improvement. It's not. So you can't tell me, oh yeah, he's improving the team, because we haven't. And he spent 300 million. What's he gonna do? Like, imagine you in 12 months. Okay, let's say 15 months. You spent 300 million in 15 months. 300 million. Like, all you Man United fans said that we need 300 million spent on this squad to win the league. We said this when he came. He's been given that. He's been given 300 million, and we are not even close to winning the league. 80 million on Maguire, 50 million on Wan-Bissaka. These are the 2 biggest wastes of money I've seen in Man United's history. By far. No one can tell me any more of a waste, because you cannot get any resale value for them. At least with Lukaku, it wasn't a waste. We got resale value. Maguire will go for 30 million. Wan-Bissaka will go for 25 million. Even if, maybe not even that, 20. We will not get our money back. We won't even get half our money back on both of them. These are the worst signings in Man United's history, in my opinion. 2 of the worst signings. Waste of money. Waste. Matic cost 40 million. I wouldn't say that was a waste, because I think he still did okay for us. He's not been great, but he's been okay. Fred, 50 million. If you sold Fred now, you still get 35, 40 million. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. You still get 35, 40 million, because everyone knows that Fred is good. Everyone knows Fred is good, except for some Man United fans. Some Man United fans don't think he's good, but a lot of people know that Fred is good. You know, people know that. Why do you think Pep wanted him? This is the problem. We're having so many problems with the signings that we made. You know, Dan James, like, he will get resale value, because you can see that I don't think Dan James is good enough. You can see that he could do something at a club. He should be a good bench option for us, but he's not even doing nothing off bench, because he's not being taught nothing in training. You know, he bought Bruno Fernandes. No one else wanted him. I'm just saying, no one else wanted him. There's a reason for that. Like, if guys, like, same with there's a reason for that. Same with Van der Beek. I think Van der Beek was wanted by Real Madrid, so I think if it was a normal market, maybe Van der Beek would have gone. But Bruno Fernandes, no one wanted him. No one. Nobody wanted him. And we bought him. And to me, he's very good, and he's a leader, and he's a winner, but his performances have been shocking. And, you know, penalties are covering it up. There's no doubt about it. Like when he becomes you fans' favourites, and you want to hold on to it so badly, because it's like, oh my God, Bruno, I'm in love. Like, this is the only reason why you don't want anyone to talk bad about Bruno. But he's been playing poor for like 10 games. For 10 games, he's been poor. 10 games. I think, yeah, he's frustrated at Ollie, but I think he's frustrated at himself more than anything. I think he's really frustrated at himself. and his game is going all over the place because he's frustrated, but because no one's there managing him. Like, these players do, like, even if they're good players, they still need managing. They still need managing. Like, Bruno Fernandes is not Roy Keane. He's not Roy Keane. Like, Roy Keane, if Roy Keane was playing in this era now, which he could easily play in this era, there's no doubt about it, Roy Keane would be even better in this era because his game is basically suited to this type of style of football. Roy Keane's game is suited to the football now more than it was back then, where he's high energy press, very good on the ball, doesn't lose the ball, very passes forward all the time, never passes sideways unless or backwards, always putting teams under pressure, always knocking it into the forwards' feet. You have to control the ball, who's demanding things off you. Like, this type of player, this type of player doesn't get talked about enough because it's a mentality. Now, Bruno is similar to that, but he hasn't got the quality of passing that Roy Keane has. He hasn't. He actually could be a Roy Keane because Roy Keane wouldn't take so many risk passes, but he would do the simple passes right. He would always do the simple pass right, even if it's to your feet, even if it's a through ball. He would do it right. He would do it right. Where Bruno Fernandes is always trying to do madness balls, Hollywood passes. He's always trying to do Hollywood passes, and he's not Pogba. He's not Scholes. He's not Pirlo. He's not Xavi. He's not that level of baller. Like, these men are high level ballers when it comes to passing. So their Hollywood pass isn't Hollywood. It's because they can do it all the time. Bruno is Hollywood. It's Hollywood passing. It's just showboat passing. It's like doing stepovers for no reason. There's no one around and you're doing stepovers. That's what Bruno Fernandes does with his passing. He's just and he doesn't work because he's not even running. He's just a Hollywood baller. Bruno Fernandes is a Hollywood baller. He's balling in Hollywood. It's all about, the pens and the free kicks, and he's a Hollywood baller. He's all about the showmanship. You know what I mean? But the actual substance isn't there. And I think Van de Beek comes in and does some 1-2 touch thing that brings in Martial or Rashford in them, man. And I think he's making Bruno look stupid. I think we'll be more coherent under Van de Beek. We have more control in our game under Van de Beek. Bruno is a bit reckless. He's a bit like haywire. He's everywhere, left, right. Van de Beek is cultured, controlled. Ajax Academy. He's Ajax Academy. Ajax Academy. Baller. Like, top baller. The movement in the box. The one-touch layoffs, like Thomas Muller. Then one-touch layoffs. Trust me, he's a Thomas Muller player. Like, Van de Beek is Thomas Muller, in my opinion. That's what type of player he is. He's a Thomas Muller. Just, Ollie can't use him. Anyway, I've talked too long. I'm tactical. This is Tactical United, and if Ollie loses against Newcastle, it's gonna be peak for him. It's gonna be very, 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 very uncomfortable for him. It's gonna be very uncomfortable for him. Like, he can't lose. I personally can't see us losing against Newcastle. I'll be honest. I can't see it happening. I just don't think they're good enough. Like, I just don't think we're going to lose against Newcastle. We might draw, but I can't see us losing. I can't. It doesn't make sense. Even a draw is horrendous. Like, but looking at Newcastle, they don't create a lot of chances, and when they do, they take them. Now, I don't know. I think we need to. If we score first, we win. If we don't, we lose. It's really that simple. So Ollie's got to send them out with a mentality to get that goal, and I don't know if he can. I don't know if the team's going to be right. I don't know if the selection's going to be right. The formation, he could go 5 at the back. If he goes 5 at the back at Newcastle, what does that say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? That if he's scared of Newcastle, we have no chance. If he's scared of Newcastle, we have no chance.